Line 9 presents Young Frankenstein, alive on Broadway.
Welcome. We're taking you on stage and backstage at Mel Brooks' hilarious new musical comedy, Young Frankenstein. You'll see Megan Mullally's R-rated number, the all-new Puttin' on the Ritz, and a look back at the movie classic that started it all. It's an abnormal hour of stars, insider secrets, and surprises. We'll put you in the front row at Broadway's new hit show.
I said, Gene, this is too crazy.
He jokes about it now. He tells everyone, I was nuts.
5, 6, 7, and 1, 2, 3, hit! Listen to your heart. Run inside.
You take the blonde, I'll take the one in the toy bin.
I get to belt out the word twice.
But I am a rather brilliant surgeon. Perhaps I can help you with that hump. What hump? Walk this way. What else could possibly go wrong?
Ask me about my sex life.
He was my boyfriend.
Nothing.
Deep love. At last I found deep love.
She's in touch with her sexuality.
I dated the original Dr. Frankenstein.
It's Frankenstein.
That's Frankenstein. Frankenstein.
That's it. That's our show.
And we've got more for you.
A monster showstopper that outdoes the movie. Meet Mel Brooks, the funniest man on Broadway, sexual chemistry in the doctor's lab, red carpet confessions, Gene Wilder's melodrama, and Megan's deep love.
You know her as the Lookin' for Love, Karen Walker from Will and Grace. And Young Frankenstein, Megan Mullally, is hot for the monster. But when it comes to her fiancé, Dr. Frankenstein, it's a case of please don't touch me.
You can spank me till I'm red, if it's only in your head, but please don't touch me.
I get to belt out the word twice, center stage on Broadway. Top that.
Fans of the Will and Grace star may be surprised that Megan can belt out a show tune, in this case, an R-rated show tune.
Been searching for deep love for all of my life.
When I first heard that song, I was like, are you kidding me? I thought, oh God, I love this. I mean, I love that kind of stuff, and just the silly double entendre. It's very similar to Will and Grace in a lot of ways, just because there's a lot of dirty stuff and it's kind of dumb. And so I get to stand center stage and belt out a great big old high note and, you know, raise my fist in the air. It's Les Mis meets the Robin Bird Show. My inner and outer naughtiness is brought out.
Now that's a curtain call, but not Megan's first on Broadway.
My first Broadway show was Grease, the revival of Grease back in 1994 with Rosie O'Donnell. I played Marty in that. She's the character that sings the song Freddie My Love, which is not in the movie, which most people know.
Do you remember that song to this day?
Yeah. Yeah. Freddie My Love, I miss you more than...
It's me.
When I called her to come and audition, she came in the next day, and when she sang, it was glorious. You know, she sang much better than I ever imagined, and I think that's what's great for an audience who knows her as a television star. They come in and they discover her as this musical comedy star because they cannot believe she has these vocal chops, and every night she stops the show.
Megan may not have imagined she would be a Broadway star, but 20 years ago, a psychic predicted her TV success.
I remember him telling me that I was going to play a secretary on a television sitcom, and then I would win 2 Emmys, and they would be like bookends. And I said, well, that's ridiculous, because I'm never even going to audition for a television sitcom, because that's beneath my dignity.
Megan won those 2 Emmys plus 3 SAG Awards. She's also the lead singer in the Supreme Music program, but she's at her sexiest on stage.
Love. And I'm not talking about puppy love either.
For me, my favorite scene would be the cave scene. where before and after being ravished by the monster, you know, there's nothing like playing an extended scene with a grunting monster.
Again? Oh, you're incorrigible, aren't you, zipperneck?
Mel Brooks is the driving force behind the $16 million musical comedy. For 6 decades, Mel has made America laugh.
And now, for my next impression, Jesse Owens.
He has spoofed westerns, Hitchcock thrillers, Bible epics, Men in Tights, and Mel famously poked fun at Hitler.
Springtime for Hitler and Germany.
I'm the only one who used Hitler properly. I think that the Allies did a very good job, you know, in destroying the Third Reich. But I was the first one to have fun with Hitler, you know, to get even with him, you know.
Hey, Hitler! Hi, Hitler! All right, I've got it.
He said, I'm doing the same thing that Charlie Chaplin did. You want to get back at a dictator, a swine, a rotten pig? Make fun of him.
Don't be stupid, be a smarty. Come and join the Nazi party.
The Producers was Mel's first hit movie. He arrived in Hollywood by way of the Borscht Belt as a stand-up comedian.
Then I'd say, good evening, ladies and Jews. I want to tell you about it, you know. And then I'd go and I'd work, and I'd say, I met a girl last night. This girl was so thin. I met the skinniest girl. This was a slender person. I took her to a restaurant. The maitre d' said, check your umbrella. That's how skinny, you know. And if I didn't get a laugh from that one, I'd have to jump into another, you know. But it was live.
And wanting that live audience again, Mel left Hollywood for Broadway.
You make a movie, it's sometimes 18 months before you hear your first laugh. I'm very happy with Broadway because it is alive and it's thrilling.
With Young Frankenstein and before it The Producers, Mel brought back old-school musical comedy.
It was a long time before Broadway once again had a musical comedy. Phantom of the Opera is okay, you know, I'd rather see the other side of his face, frankly.
At age 81, Mel is the toast of Broadway, and there is a rumor Blazing Saddles is his next musical.
True, or that's
No, it's not true.
Not true.
It's not true.
Not
I just looking for a laugh, I say it's not true 3 years from now if I run out of ideas. Oh, I'm sorry, I apologize. Here's Blazing Saddles.
Still to come on Young Frankenstein, alive on Broadway.
Meet the monster behind this monster hit, black teeth and all.
Anything for my art for.
He's a super Jew of all time.
He's the funniest person ever.
Billy Crystal pays tribute to Mel.
Why don't you go and fashion suits?
How did they put on Puttin' on the Ritz on Broadway?
Mel Brooks' real name is Melvin Kaminsky, and he served as an Army corporal in World War II.
Young Frankenstein, alive on Broadway, brought to you locally by Toyota, a smart way to keep moving forward.
If you had to guess, what's the smartest time of year to buy a car? Right now, because winter is when Toyota quality, safety, and value really show their stuff. And during Toyota's winter special, lease the Sienna minivan with available all-wheel drive and a 5-star safety rating for $249 a month, or get $1,000 cash back on Sienna. It's Toyota's winter special at your Toyota dealer now. A smart way to keep moving forward.
My buddy Tommy is an artist, and I'm his assistant, Hailey. Actually, I've been helping Tommy with a lot of things since we were teamed up by Canine Companions for Independence. I help him get around, reach things he can't get to, keep him smiling. Sometimes I'm even his paintbrush. To find out how you can help bring people like Tommy together with dogs like me, visit cci.org or call 1-800-572-BARK.
Something big is happening to the Barone family.
Your bartender's gonna be mixing up a little love potion.
They're picking up and moving.
What?
Oh, yeah! And they couldn't be happier.
That was great. The face that you made when I said it, it was perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, just like that. Okay, you can stop now.
Everybody loves Raymond. Moving to My 9 this March.
You're watching Young Frankenstein, alive on Broadway.
42nd Street is the Monster Block. You can see the classic original at Madame Tussauds, New York, and right across the street, there's a new monster in town. Getting raves, my friend.
Oh, well, you know, it has nothing to do with makeup or anything.
What is this goose?
Licorice. Would you like some?
No, but I thought it was avocado.
You know what my daughter calls me?
What?
She calls me the gingerbread man.
Oh.
She's come in here and she goes, oh, the gingerbread man. So I'm like, ah.
When you're putting on the Ritz, and you have the big clumpy shoes on, what are those shoes made of?
They are from the village. You see them? And they're about 4-inch platforms. They zip up.
Ooh,
and
sexy.
then
And how high?
they're
4?
yeah, just about 4. So I'm about 6'7", 6'8" in these. I'm an average NBA forward. Well, maybe. Yes.
What color are we putting on here? Black.
This is death black.
It's the latest from Revlon. And then we do teeth to match. I don't think this should be part of your regular denim.
Ow! Ow!
We dry the teeth off a little better. Here's the second color that really pulls it together, which is a tobacco stain.
Nice, huh?
It gives it a nice rotted look.
Anything for my art for. You know, I grew up with the movie and it's so embedded in my head and you can't recreate, you know, you don't want to recreate that because you can't. It's Peter Boyle and it's Gene Wilder and it's all those legends and it's a whole new show really. It's that familiar scenes but it's new. So it's the best of both worlds I think. And the audience, it's funny because you can hear them when they see something familiar from the film. They'll go, ah.
We're going to go back to the beginning and start with you, well, as you, before you become him.
Oh!
The monster process takes about an hour.
It's not that easy being green. Seems you blend in with so many ordinary things, and people tend to pass you over because you're not sparkles in the water or stars in the sky. But green's the color of spring. Green can be cool and friendly like, and green can be big like the ocean, or important like a mountain, or tall like a tree. When green is all there is to be, it could make you wonder why wonder, I'm green. It's beautiful, and I think it's where I want to be.
Voila! Voila!
And now I want you to meet more of the cast members. Walk this way.
Perhaps I can help you with that hump. What hump?
In the first hump that we had, it wasn't big enough, so we upped the hump.
This is the extra added humpage.
And why did you want the extra padding?
Well, I wasn't sure if it was reading enough from the audience.
Oh,
we have,
I
you know,
see.
10,000 people fit in this theater.
I don't want to give a spoiler away, but there might be more than one hump, and there actually might be more than 2 humps in this show.
Together again for the first time. Having to fun.
Chris Fitzgerald is young Frankenstein's resident comedian. His dressing room has the most fun stuff.
What hump? Hello. I'm Marty Feldman. No, it's Chris Fitz. I don't know what's happening.
Mel discovered Chris in an off-Broadway show, Gutenberg the Musical. I didn't make that up. He ad-libbed his Igor audition.
Put my sweatshirt up over my head as for my little hood and just went crazy. And in the second audition, they did say, walk this way.
Walk this way, Pat.
Still to come on Young Frankenstein, alive on Broadway.
Walk this way.
In a rare interview, Gene Wilder tells the real story behind Young Frankenstein, and we celebrate that illustrious cast. Plus, confessions from the red carpet.
And this guy sat down and grabbed my hand and said, "I'm afraid to fly, honey. Talk to me." And it was Mel Brooks.
Young Frankenstein was the bassist for the Aerosmith's classic song, Walk This Way! The band members borrowed the phrase after seeing the film together.
Walk this way.
In case of an emergency, if I'm at work, I would call my wife right away. Well, unless, of course, there's no cell service, and, you know, then I...
If our cell phones didn't work, and the land phone didn't work, the landlines were down, and it's a good question. What do you do?
Mi gente, Optimal Triple Play is in the house. I.O. digital cable. Watch a lot of channels whenever you're able. HD is free. Let me put it on the table for $29.95. You can design the label. 877-393-4448. Optimum online, so fast, so fine. Dial-up and DSL, you're gonna leave it behind. Come on, mi gente, let's get online. For $29.95, it'll blow your mind.
877-393-4448.
Optimum boys, call your mom, call your date, call all you want from state to state. Puerto Rico and Canada, just one flat rate for $29.95. Why have to translate?
Remember, you can get Optimum Boys rock call. Talk with anybody in the world. So call
877-393-4448.
The savings are for real. The triple play is the deal. Estamos.
This is my neighborhood. It's a great community for children. Brenda and Harry, they feel like part of the family. My neighborhood, my news.
All next week on The King of Queens. Love.
I'm full here, but more importantly, I'm full here.
Marriage. It's Love and Marriage all next week on The King of Queens.
Like Superman. I was put here for a reason.
All next week at 7 and 7:30. You're watching Young Frankenstein, alive on Broadway.
On this stage 5 on the Fox lot, Young Frankenstein was shot back in the 1970s. The special edition DVD captures what it was like to be here back then, with a making of documentary, a blooper reel, and a lot of other features. Young Frankenstein was Gene Wilder's idea, and here's Gene to tell us how it all began.
That's Frankenstein.
I took that pen and the yellow legal pad and I wrote at the top, Young Frankenstein. But I thought Young Frankenstein is a funny title.
Where did the idea come from?
When I was a kid, I was scared to death of the Frankenstein movies. When I saw those movies and I remembered them, I also remembered that I wanted to change the endings. I wanted them to end happily.
Penny for your thoughts.
Before Mel began working on the Broadway version, he called his longtime collaborator and friend.
He wanted my permission, he wanted my approval. I tried to talk him out of it at first. At that time, with his wife,
Anne Bancroft,
gone, and Mel was going through such hell for a year. I knew it was important for him to be busy, just be busy. And when he called that 1 week later, he started right in, almost the same sentence that he left off on. And I said, stop talking, I want you to do it.
Walk this way.
Where did that line come from?
He said, it's an old vaudeville joke. A man has a terrible case of hemorrhoids. He goes to a drugstore. He says, do you have some talcum powder? And the druggist says, yes, sir, walk this way. He said, if I could walk that way, I wouldn't need the talcum powder. Walk this way.
Oh. Gene now lives in Connecticut with his wife, Karen, and he has a new career as a best-selling author. His books include Kiss Me Like a Stranger, My French Whore, and his new novel, The Woman Who Wouldn't. But I had a question about his first career.
If you ask me my favorite film of the ones I've done, it's Young Frankenstein. I don't think it's just because I wrote, but because I enjoyed every minute of it, and I think it was the best comedy cast I had seen in maybe 20 years. I loved working with those people.
And now, let us all go to my house for a little sponge cake and a little wine.
And tonight, we salute that cast of gifted actors. Terry Garr lives in L.A. and retired from acting after being diagnosed with MS. She spends her time raising awareness and money for multiple sclerosis. Cloris Leachman lives and works in L.A. At 81, she has won more Emmys than any other actress.
Marty Feldman is buried here at Forest Lawn. Mel Brooks came to this famous cemetery early last year when he was working on Young Frankenstein to ask for Marty's blessing.
I got to tell you a secret. I went up to where Marty Feldman is laid to rest in California. And I went up there, and I you know, he's right near. Actually, Marty is not too far from Buster Keaton, his idol, Marty's idol, and Stan Laurel was not too far.
So he's in good company.
Very good. Sure. And I told Marty all about Chris Fitzgerald. I said, you won't be ashamed. You won't be, you know. And I told him all about the show, and I said, you know, if you're floating around anywhere, you'll be pleased. If you know, I told him how good Chris Fitzgerald is, how really, how well he salutes the role of Igor.
He's so fearless. Who knows what part of his crazy brain came up with so much of that stuff.
Madeline Kahn was diagnosed with ovarian cancer in 1999 and died later that year.
To me, you know, she seemed like one of those people that you would really want to sit down and have dinner with. You know, like a really great gal.
Peter Boyle died of cancer and heart disease in 2006, shortly after Everybody Loves Raymond ended its 10-year run. The show earned Boyle 7 Emmy nominations.
I am the monster!
Yeah, I see that you are a demonstrator.
Kenneth Mars is the voice of Ariel's father, Triton, in The Little Mermaid. Gene Hackman has unofficially retired from acting, having won 2 Oscars during his illustrious career.
Still to come on Young Frankenstein, alive on Broadway.
I had a big fight with Gene Wilder.
A battle of wills over the movie's most famous scene. The show's sexiest musical number.
You're this close to the end of your career.
From American Gangster to Desperate Housewives and Broadway, Roger Bart has something on his brain.
'Cause I love his name is Frankenstein. Soft and sparkling, there is nothing like a friend.
When Young Frankenstein was originally released in the theaters, Gene Hackman was not listed in the credits as the Hermit.
A town screw-up
It was smelling so awful.
turned their home into a sewer.
Feces. Human feces is in my basement.
The I-Team investigates how it happened.
Water is everywhere.
Who's responsible for the damage and what to do if your town accidentally trashes your home. Tonight on My 9 News at 10.
I've seen a lot of things during my life, more bad things than good. I've lived in a lot of places, but never a home. I don't think anybody cares about me anymore. And now, I'm tired. Signed, Brian, age 11. Volunteer in court for an abused child like Brian. Stand up for him so that he'll stand a chance.
I want to give you thousands of dollars in the hottest beauty gifts. It's Tyra's Beauty Booty Sweepstakes starting next week. Watch the Tyra Banks Show every day right here at 5 p.m. on My 9. Then tune into the Midday Cafe on 98.7 KISS FM for your chance to win the Tyra Beauty Booty Sweepstakes right here on My 9 and 98.7 KISS FM.
My buddy Tommy is an artist, and I'm his assistant, Hailey. Actually, I've been helping Tommy with a lot of things since we were teamed up by Canine Companions for Independence. I help him get around, reach things he can't get to, keep him smiling. Sometimes I'm even his paintbrush. To find out how you can help bring people like Tommy together with dogs like me, visit cci.org or call 1-800-572-BARK.
Celebrity Expose has an exclusive sit-down with Michael Jackson. Then, tempers are flaring, and trusting anyone can send you home.
Everybody lies in this place.
Celebrity Expose and Paradise Hotel 2. Viewer discretion advised.
Monday starting at 8 on My 9.
This is my neighborhood. It's a great place for young families. My kids love this park. This is my favorite place.
You're watching Young Frankenstein, alive on Broadway.
Putting on the Ritz. That number gets a huge ovation at every performance. But the famous movie scene that inspired that number was the cause of the big fight between Mel Brooks and Gene Wilder. This is the inside story.
So I put some of the lyrics down, and the monster saying, Paris. When he read Putting on the Ritz, he said, are you crazy? This is frivolous. You and the monster are dancing top hat and tails to Irving Berlin.
I had a big fight with Gene Wilder. I said, Gene, this is too crazy.
I argued till, well, I didn't see the color, but I think I must have been red turning towards blue.
And Gene said, well, let's try it. I said, oh, no, we can't. And he said, well, let's try. I said, all right.
Before cameras rolled, Mel said this to the production crew.
If you feel like laughing, here is a white handkerchief. When you feel like laughing, shove it in your mouth. We were filming, Putting on the Ritz, and I turned around, there was a sea of white handkerchiefs stuck in the, I said, okay, this is a hit.
And he jokes about it now.
He does?
Yeah, he tells everyone. I was nuts.
And I apologized profusely to Gene Wilder, and I said, you're absolutely right from the beginning.
If you're blue and you don't know where to go to, why don't you go where fashion sits?
The Broadway version of that iconic dance number literally stops the show.
When I yell, hit it, and the lights go to black, I can't sort of describe how thrilling it is, just because the audience is so excited to see it. It's explosive.
The New Ritz was created by the show's director and choreographer, Susan Stroman. Let's drop by this rehearsal to teach you a few steps.
A 5, 6, 7, and.
I knew that Putting on the Ritz had to be in Young Frankenstein, of course. So to get my hands on Putting on the Ritz was thrilling.
Dress up like $1 million trooper.
We can teach you how to dance with the stars Broadway style. Rule number 1, do not hit the star of the show, Roger Bart, with your cane.
Pick up that left hand. Good.
Rule number 2, no matter how often you mess up, just keep moving.
Hit, hit, hit.
Rule number 3, keep at it until you exhaust the director.
1, hit, hit, 1, 2, 3, hit. That was it. That was it. You did it.
But what I really wanted was to be the monster and say all those famous lines.
Super duper. That's it.
Okay, that needs work. And this does too.
And both of you are going to do, in their midst, you're going to do ball chain step.
And now for the big finish.
Putting on the Ritz!
Yeah. My friends, I now return you to the pros, Roger Bart and Shuler Hensley.
Different types you wear a day coat, pants with stripes, and cutaway coat, perfect fits.
Before every performance, 24 members of the Young Frankenstein Orchestra begin to tune up in the pit. With the exception of Putting on the Ritz, every song was written by Mel Brooks.
Run, run, run in the hay.
I just wrote 8 bars in the movie. Roll, roll, roll in the hay, roll, roll, roll in the hay. That's all she sings in the movie. So I took Roll in the Hay and I made that a big number. I was just thinking of the monster making love to Elizabeth in the cave. And I was thinking, there's got to be a song there.
Deep love, at last I found deep love.
You know, so I began to write deep love, incredibly long love, and firm love. I mean, the ideas never stop.
Let's be a couple of dumbbells, dumb right from the start.
And then I had an idea for, the professor is such an intellectual. You know, he's like the 40-year-old virgin. I mean, he's never, you know, he doesn't know about women and sex and boobs. He doesn't know anything, you know. I wasn't ready to do the show yet, but I wrote another song called Listen to Your Heart.
You'll find such bliss in the kissing we're missing, so listen, listen to your heart.
I finished that song, and Stroh said, that's it, that's our show.
What did you really say?
Well, when Mel came to me with a few of those songs, I said, this is the beginning of a show.
Susan Stroman is Broadway's blonde dynamo with 5 Tony Awards, 2 of them for the producers. She and Mel may be the odd couple of Broadway, but they're the odd couple with a magic touch.
And he writes happy songs. All the songs are happy, and there's nothing greater than going into rehearsal and directing and choreographing to happy music.
Sing a sweet song, I'm in jeans. There every morning. I'm not gonna do it. And play there. I can't do it. Yeah, I can do it. There we go.
Stroh, as she is called, decided this number needed some kissing.
That's the best rehearsal, the kissing rehearsal. Now the kiss. I'm not sure. I think it was pretty darn good.
I've never played a character like Inga. She's not slutty, and she's not a tease. She's a simple farm girl, but she's European, so it's a different sensibility about sex, about sexuality. It's much freer, and she's there to serve the doctor, however he needs serving, basically.
Okay. Okay, now that was right. Let's do it again without laughing.
All in all, Stroh staged a total of 17 numbers for Young Frankenstein.
I think Stroh has done a much better job with this than she did with the producers.
Bella's been my good friend for almost 9 years, and who would have thought that my best friend would have ended up being Mel Brooks?
Still to come on Young Frankenstein, live on Broadway.
I guess you always sort of worry that that thing's going to slam right into my head.
What's inside Frankenstein's castle that frightens Roger Bart?
You do the voodoo you do so well.
Why is this Baywatch star talking voodoo on opening night? How can you see Young Frankenstein for only 25 bucks? We'll tell you how.
Young Frankenstein opened at the Sutton Theater in New York in 1974. It was a huge hit. Gene Wilder and Mel Brooks received Oscar nominations for the screenplay.
If you had to guess, what's the smartest time of year to buy a car? Right now, because winter is when Toyota quality, safety, and value really show their stuff. And during Toyota's winter special, lease the Sienna minivan with available all-wheel drive and a 5-star safety rating for $249 a month, or get $1,000 cash back on Sienna. It's Toyota's winter special at your Toyota dealer now. A smart way to keep moving forward.
We can only tell you 3 things about the next SVU. Margot Kidder is the mother.
You are a filthy, lying...
Chad Lowe is the child.
What the hell did you do to your son?
And the ending is the most controversial of all.
I'm not a little boy anymore.
Don't watch it alone. Next SVU.
Tonight at 8 and 9 on My 9.
My buddy Tommy is an artist, and I'm his assistant, Hailey. Actually, I've been helping Tommy with a lot of things since we were teamed up by Canine Companions for Independence. I help him get around, reach things he can't get to, keep him smiling. Sometimes I'm even his paintbrush. To find out how you can help bring people like Tommy together with dogs like me, visit cci.org or call 1-800-572-BARK.
Last year, 1 in 5 children was sexually solicited online. Visit cybertipline.com to learn how to protect your kids' online life.
If stormwater pollution was rubber duckies, it wouldn't matter what went down our storm drains. But it does, because stormwater pollution is not rubber duckies. It's trash, oil, cigarette butts, and pet waste flowing untreated to our waterways. That's not good for any of us, because we all live downstream. Clean water. It's up to you, New Jersey.
I'm 16 years old. I just found out that I'm pregnant. My father kicked me out. Tyra, please help me.
From Jamie Lynn Spears to Juno, there are more pregnant teens now than ever. I haven't told anyone. I can't tell my mom. I don't think she could forgive me. Maybe it's time to tell Mama she's here right now. Teen girls facing the hardest decisions of their lives.
I thought of keeping it. I don't know what to do.
An all-new Tyra.
Monday at 5 on My 9. You're watching Young Frankenstein, alive on Broadway.
On stage, the Dr. Frankenstein lab coat is worn by the star of the show, the brainy Roger Bart.
Call me Copernicus, Kepler, and Newton. Compare me to Freud, I feel highfalutin. Call me a Darwin, I love that man's theory. Call me Pasteur and watch me get teary.
A tongue twister delivered at lightning speed. No problem for Roger Bart. What does he worry about on stage? A bookcase. A revolving bookcase.
An opening night, it rotate only half a revolution. I think I said a couple of expletives. So I guess you always sort of worry that that thing's going to slam right into my head, and so they keep telling me that there's some sort of kill switch, but I figure by that time I'll be killed already.
What else could possibly go wrong?
2 weeks before opening night, Roger's back went out. He bounced back, but lately he feels bad about his neck while necking in the hay with Sutton Foster.
My neck makes sounds that I've never heard before, I think, during that number, but it's really pretty fun.
What else could possibly go wrong?
Well, all those special effects, for one.
Is there any danger there?
There is. I've been assured that there's no danger, but it is, I think, the first time a Tesla has been used on Broadway.
Roger is one of the most versatile actors in the business. He's a Tony winner for You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. He was the killer pharmacist in love with Marcia Cross on Desperate Housewives. He starred in the horror flick Hostel 2. In The Producers on Broadway and in the movie, he played the flamboyant Carmen Gia, and he's the DA playing opposite Russell Crowe in American Gangster.
Frank's organization.
No black man has accomplished what the American Mafia hasn't.
Maybe even someday I'll see it. I've just been a little busy.
Roger was originally cast to play Igor. Soon after, he was offered the starring role. He had to think about it.
I know everyone was looking at me like, what is it? What are you, crazy? It was a real jolt to me. You know, it was going to change my life. You know, I could still go out to, Joe Allen after the show and drink several pints when you're doing Igor. You can't, my life is a little different now,
But in a good way.
I've been in many underdog shows where you sort of hope you get the reviews, you hope you find your audience, you hope your PR firms sell the show the right way into the right people. So it's a relief to be in something that sort of like, pardon the pun in this case, but a no-brainer.
'Cause I love Davis Rocketting, the facts are plain, there is nothing like the
Abby who? Abby Normal.
What's your favorite line from the movie? Every fan has one. How about you, Mike?
My favorite line is when he asked what brain did he return, and he said Abby Normal.
Abby Normal is exactly my favorite as well, and we didn't rehearse that. And now for more favorite lines.
My favorite, as I was writing it, I think, then he, then you, then he, then you, then he. Yes, yes, say it, he was my boyfriend.
Put the candle back.
He was my boyfriend.
It's got to be the Knockers. Poo-poo undies. I'm sorry to tell you, but that's what I think of. Cigars?
Cigars.
Cigars.
So many of the big lines in the show are also the big lines in the movie.
Oh, you're incorrigible, aren't you, you old zipper neck?
Penny for your thoughts.
Werewolf. Beowulf, their castle.
I know it's cliche, but the Frau Brucher when the horses neigh and whinny.
It's pronounced Igor.
When the monster for the first time says,
Wait, what's wrong? What's the matter? Where are you going? I was going to make espresso.
Definitely, I think the Madeline Kahn, oh, sweet mystery of life, I found you.
Putting on the Ritz. Putting on the Ritz.
Everybody say their favorite line.
Still to come on Young Frankenstein, alive on Broadway.
I want to go out with him. I do. What are you laughing at?
Behind the scenes at Mel's opening night, a curtain call surprise that brought the audience to its feet. And how good is your monster geography?
I have no idea, Pat.
Author Mary Shelley was only 19 years old when she began writing Frankenstein. Her friends started a contest to see who could come up with the scariest story.
Boys and Girls Clubs in New Jersey provide us after-school programs and a safe and positive environment.
Boys and Girls Clubs encourage team building, leadership development, and they foster positive peer influence.
The Boys and Girls Club members have an 87% high school graduation rate. And 1 out of 4 of us finishes college.
Boys and Girls Clubs in New Jersey serve over 70,000 of us between the ages of 5 and 18. This is my neighborhood. It's a great place to raise a child. We love this park. It's so carefree and peaceful. Brenda and Harry, they give news with personality. They give me news I can relate to. My neighborhood, my news.
On the next Crime Time Tuesday, OJ's back in jail. And only My Network TV has the exclusive.
I've always believed in the jury system.
Watch as the juice gets squeezed again. It's the episode of Jail you can't miss.
I'm back!
Jail, following back-to-back episodes of Street Patrol. Viewer discretion advised.
Tuesday, starting at 8 on My 9.
In case of an emergency, if I'm at work, I would call my wife right away. Well, unless, of course, there's no cell service, and, you know, then I...
If our cell phones didn't work, and the land phone didn't work, the landlines were down, and it's a good question. What do you do?
Young Frankenstein, alive on Broadway.
Opening night, Young Frankenstein. Lots of excitement here at the Hilton Theater. Let's go to the red carpet. Natalie Portman, Goldie Hawn, Martin Short, Walter Cronkite, Mike Wallace, Billy Crystal, Liz Smith, Mike Nichols, Joy Behar, Joan Rivers. David Hasselhoff is here because David started in a Las Vegas production of The Producers.
You know, Mel Brooks came to me the opening night and he said, I have one note. I said, what is it? He goes, you do the voodoo, you do so well. Don't change anything. And I was, my God.
Rosie O'Donnell wasn't talking to the tabloid shows, but she did talk to us.
15 years ago, I was on a plane and first class, and there was a seat empty next to me. And this guy sat down and grabbed my hand and said, I'm afraid to fly, honey. Talk to me. And it was Mel Brooks. And for 5.5 hours, all the way to LA, he told me everything about his career, about meeting Anne Bancroft, about how when they were on the same show together. And it was like a 5-hour master class. It was the best.
Mel Brooks is a curmudgeon. He's a pain in the ass. He is the smartest guy coming down. He's got the sense of humor that we all have inside us, but sometimes we're afraid to use. He's got the guts to do it. He's great.
How would you describe Mel Brooks?
Energy. He's energy, energy, energy. He's a super Jew of all time.
I was with him the other night before last, and he's the funniest person ever. And to just sit across from him and hear him, and just the fact that I know him after, you know, Pat, wearing out the 2,000-Year-Old Man album, you know, it was like going steady with it. It was that and Sophia Loren.
I want to go out with him. I do. What are you laughing at?
He's a joke. Of the best kind, like the kind that makes you cackle.
Young Frankenstein is my favorite funny movie of all time.
Curtain up. And 2.5 hours later, the sound of applause shook the chandeliers of the Hilton Theater. And then came a big surprise.
A special treat. The man who started this all, who gave birth to this idea, ladies and gentlemen, Gene Wilder! I love this man, I really do. I'm not gay either.
Without question, this was one of the most memorable curtain calls in recent Broadway history, followed by the cast party at the Empire State Building.
I feel great. I gotta get some chicken soup.
Joan told us something we didn't know.
I dated the original Dr. Frankenstein, so go ahead.
And Sutton Foster told us something we wanted to know about the cast.
Most of this original company is contracted for a year. Gosh, it just depends. As long as people come, we'll be here for, as we can sell tickets, we'll be here.
There's been a lot of controversy over the $450 premium seat for Young Frankenstein, but you can get a front row seat for $25. Here's what you have to do to participate in the lottery.
All right, so congratulations, everyone. All right, you won. You have front row seats for, a Broadway show. It's exciting.
These lucky lottery winners arrived at the Hilton Theater 3 hours before the performance began and submitted their names at the box office. 2 hours later, the names were drawn here at the McDonald's across the street from the theater.
Rika could win. Woo! Our first winner.
We've been trying to win, so finally, first name called.
An hour later, the winners purchased their tickets for $25 cash.
We put them in the front row because they're liable to get up at the end and cheer, and that tells the rest of the house, okay, standing ovation. So we're not dumb.
$121.50.
That's the average ticket price for a Young Frankenstein orchestra seat. All the hit shows charge about the same, but Young Frankenstein drew criticism for the $450 premium seat.
And they're for those billionaires that must sit on the floor of the garden when the Knicks are playing. And they have to sit, in their special boxes.
It's the hedge fund guys.
It's the hedge fund, right.
Right.
Oh, I'm limiting those people because they don't laugh.
Premium seats were introduced when the producers became a hit. Mel's business partner, Robert Silliman, came up with the idea to give the scalpers a little healthy competition.
If a little old lady is making her way to the box, cut her off. Get in front of her. God will forgive you. This is a tough ticket.
Just come. We don't care the reasons. Do we?
Today's my birthday, and this is what we're doing for my birthday.
Well, happy birthday. What's your name?
Thank you. Elaine.
Happy birthday, Elaine.
Still to come on Young Frankenstein, alive on Broadway.
I did you well.
Come with us to Transylvania. And what to wear when you get there.
It's electrifying.
The movie, Young Frankenstein, is number 13 on the American Film Institute's lists of the 100 funniest American movies.
A town screw-up
It was smelling so awful.
turned their home into a sewer.
Feces. Human feces is in my basement.
The I-Team investigates how it happened,
Water is everywhere.
who's responsible for the damage, and what to do if your town accidentally trashes your home. Tonight on My 9 News at 10.
You know why smart people car shop in winter? There are lots of cars and smaller crowds. And that means great deals. During Toyota's winter special, you can lease a 2008 RAV4 for just $249 a month, or get a $269 a month lease on a new 2008 Highlander with enhanced vehicle stability control standard. It's easy to find out more at whyhighlander.com, but to really experience it, visit your Toyota dealer. A smart way to keep moving forward.
Mi gente, Optimum Triple Play is in the house. I.O. Digital cable. Watch a lot of channels whenever you're able. HD is free. Let me put it on the table for $29.95. You can design the label. 877-393-4448. Optimum online, so fast, so fine. Dial up and DSL, you're gonna leave it behind. Come on, mi gente, let's get online. For $29.95, it'll blow your mind.
877-393-4448.
Optimum boys, call your mom, call your date, call all you want from state to state. Puerto Rico and Canada, just one flat rate. For $29.95, why have to translate?
Remember, you can get Optimum Boys rock call. Talk with anybody in the world. So call
877-393-4448.
The savings are for real. The Triple Play is the deal. Estamos.
Something big is about to happen.
Hear that?
Everybody Loves Raymond, coming to My 9 this March.
You're watching Young Frankenstein, alive on Broadway.
Greetings from Transylvania. This guy knows where it is, but do you? Listen up. Here's a quick geography lesson. Where exactly is Transylvania?
I have no idea, Pat. It's somewhere over there. You know, Transylvania to me is a made-up place full of ghouls, monsters, all sorts of like insane townspeople.
It's like Romania, Bulgaria, somewhere in the Eastern Europe.
Where is Transylvania exactly?
Oh, man.
Transylvania is in Romania. It's a region in Romania. And we have it here, I mean, in fact, it's this part of Romania.
Romania, yes.
We would say Romania, România, Romania. I don't want to make Transylvania less attractive if there are no monsters running in it. This is a sort of a built image about an imaginary place.
Yes, sir, it's the Transylvania mania. Everybody who's been viewing it can't resist its appeal. Everybody's out there doing it, millionaire and schlemiel. So join the fun, let's all be zania. Even Litz in Lithuania love it. It's the latest rage. Lose the blues and don't complain, ya. Hit the dance floor, feel no pain, ya. Love it. Do the Transylvania mania.
The scariest Frau in all of Transylvania is Frau Blucher. The original Cloris Leachman campaigned to play the role on Broadway.
They really wanted Cloris Leachman to play the part. You know, she was set to do the part. It's a monstrous, you know, spectacle. I honestly believe that it just was too big a thing physically to handle. I can barely do it, you know, and I'm 31, so you can imagine what 50 more years would do. So then they called me.
Later, Andrea retracted that statement.
I feel badly that I said that. I think that was, first of all, I had no basis of truth to say. It was just a completely generalized statement that I would make about somebody 80, and that's ageism, and I hate myself for saying that. So I want to retract that statement, and I bet she could do it.
Take a bow, Andrea Martin. You are a class act.
A musical is officially a hit when it has merchandise, and a lot of it. Here to give you a tour of the merch are cast members Heather Ayers and Christina Nora.
Hi, everybody. We are at the Young Frankenstein gift shop in the lobby of the Hilton Theater, and we're going to show you some of the amazing things that you can take home to your families. Okay, so first of all, we have these stress balls, Abby Normal, brains. They really work. Okay, this is a magnet.
Oh, I love the magnets.
For your fridge or your filing cabinet.
Good, good.
And these are ink pens. And if
but these are special.
If you do it this way, it says normal. And if you do it this way, it says Abby Normal.
That's awesome. I love that.
Isn't that cute?
Yes.
Okay, Tina, you're going to totally love this.
What is it?
This is called a plasma ball. Watch.
Ooh. Ooh. I feel that.
It's kind of hot, isn't it?
That is. I just got shocked. No, don't say that.
And this is one of my favorites. This is a keychain, and every time someone in the show says Frau Blucher,
it whinnies. Yes.
Never gets old.
Come on down and see our show.
Come see our show. It's such a blast. We're having so much
It's
fun.
electrifying.
And let's not forget the original Broadway merchandising opportunity, the cast recording. Mel debuted the CD at Lincoln Center, Barnes & Noble.
All right, what can I do for you guys?
Sign.
Okay, I'm ready to sign.
The show's music arranger and supervisor is Glenn Kelly.
This guy by the name of Glenn Kelly, a musical genius.
I want you to meet some good people behind the scenes who help make Young Frankenstein a spectacular experience.
What you see now is our pyrotechnician loading all the pyro charges for this afternoon's performance. Sparks, lightning, thunder, all sorts of effects happen. We're testing our smoke effects. Nothing is left to chance.
I use this
keyboard here. I do some sound effects. I play a hump. I play the hump. I play the accordion. And so this is the envy of all other conductors on Broadway, this little thing here.
Conductor Patrick Brady prompts the stars when they forget their lines.
I actually sometimes sing the part for them, and I sing it very loudly, and they usually get back on. Or I wave my hands furiously and jump up and down.
Theater goers get a warm welcome from usher Denise Williams.
Oh, you should see the mink coats, the shoes. You can pick out all the fashion you want that comes through that door when you're doing tickets, honey. Oh, yes.
In charge of the Brain Depository and the rest of the Hilton Theater is Security Chief Thomas Mason.
And I'm the last person to walk out every single night.
The last one.
The very last person.
You have the keys to the Brain Depository.
Yes, I do.
Thanks for being with us. I'm Pat Collins, and now it's time to walk this way to the curtain call.